Hello, this is Dr. Lepore here, and I'm here to talk to you about 3 requirements for excellence. And whether you're a pessimist or an optimist, you're going to look at it different ways. If you're an optimist, you're going to look at it like, well, there's only 3 requirements. And if you're a pessimist, you're going to look at it like, if you don't have these 3 requirements, you cannot have success. And either way is true. So we look a lot of times at excellence like, it's this mysterious thing. However, it's 3 ingredients that you will be able to use in order to get excellence in anything. And if you do not have these 3 ingredients, then you will not have excellence. And they all start with the letter C: capacity, capability, and care. So you build excellence when you have the capacity, meaning the time and the opportunity to do something well. You have the time and opportunity to use those gifts and those abilities that you have, either that God has given you or that you have honed through a level of training and skill set development. And so the first C, capacity, is really just that: having the time and the opportunity. You cannot do anything, whether it's excellent or not, if you don't have the time to do it or the opportunity to get it done. So capacity is really, the way I see it, if you're about action, if you're an action-oriented person, is about making the time, looking for the opportunity to do what is important to you and do it with excellence. So it requires that space, whether it's a relationship, whether it's work you're doing, relationship with God, regardless of what it is, a hobby, a sport, or what have you, you have to give it time and you have to have the opportunity, receive it, or find that opportunity or make that opportunity. What is opposite of that? Opposite of that is cramming things into the last minute, not spending time in relationships and expecting them to thrive, spending maybe 10 minutes on a presentation and expecting it to go with excellence. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You may get lucky here or there, but excellence, being consistent goodness, is not going to happen. In order to have a strong relationship, you have to give time to it for it to bond. You have to spend time with God to hear from God. So when we look at the capacity that's required for excellence, a lot of times we realize excellence is not going to happen because we don't have the capacity. We don't have the capacity to do what is required for us to do it in a consistently good way, consistently great way. So simply put, you can't be excellent if you don't want to give time, if you don't want to look for opportunities. Now, I know sometimes people just receive opportunities and life isn't fair. As they say, favor is not fair. But then if you don't receive the opportunity, that means you have to look for the right opportunity where you can be excellent, or create it if you can. Some producers create their own storylines, right? So the second C is capability. Now, this one is a tricky one because we all have different talents, skills, and abilities. Some gifts we are born with. I believe that. I believe some gifts we are born with, and I know that's controversial. But then there are talents and there are skill sets that we can hone in on with practice, with reading, with learning. Especially now, there's never been a time where there has not been more information completely free online for you to study whatever it is that you want to study. Now, we do want to believe what many of us have been told by parents. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anything who you want to be. I don't believe that. So I'm not here to be a Dory Downer, but I just don't believe that to be true. What I do believe is there's something everyone can be excellent in because everyone has received gifts from God. But do I believe that everyone can do everything? No. And so a big part of you achieving excellence is knowing what your capabilities are. What were you born with, 1, and 2, what are you willing to work for? Some people say, it takes 10,000 hours to master something. I'm not sure if that's true or not. What I do know that most people take a very long time to master what they end up becoming masters at. Those real learned capabilities make it so you can achieve excellence. Now, the challenge is, the unfortunate part is sometimes we go hard on something that we just don't necessarily have the capabilities for. There's just certain things I'm just not going to master, or it would take a lifetime. And at that point, it would not be worth it, right? So like, I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at using my hands to draw and make beautiful images on the paper. Now, I could study for 10,000 hours and I could be better. And let's argue, maybe one day I would achieve excellence. But I believe if I was to achieve excellence in that area, at that point, it wouldn't be worth it because it would have cost so much. So you have to determine from a capability perspective what the excellence is worth for you. Is it worth your time in honing on that skill? And it's going to be a very, very important decision for you to ever make, regardless of what it is, where you spend your time. And that third C, which holds every single thing together, is care. You have to care. You have to have a passion. If you don't care about whatever it is, you're never going to have excellence in it because the desire is not going to be there to be that fuel to drive you to build that capability that you're going to need to achieve excellence. The care is not going to be there for you to give time, for you to look for opportunities, or even stick around for the opportunity. So the care is that foundation. You have to care about it. It doesn't matter what relationship it is. It doesn't matter what job it is. It doesn't matter how much money the job is paying or how much money the business opportunity is paying. If you do not care, if you do not have passion, it's going to be impossible for you to do it with excellence. So in parenting, that may mean, for example, guiding your child to do the right thing in different ways, not just because it's their responsibility, but you have to infuse in those children, why is it an important thing to do for them to care about? Why should they care about that? Why should they care about making up their bed? Just because, that's going to be a hard argument, right? And many of you may be saying, well, they just need to do what I tell them to do. And that's true. And they will do what you tell them to do. But then the minute they become an adult, they're not going to do it if they don't care about it. And my hope is the whole point of you telling them is for it to be for their good long term. So we have to, even in our children, instill what they care about and connect it to why it's important. So we're not going to care about anything that's not going to be important to us. Caring about a relationship with God because God loved us first, because we know that He comes with blessings. Caring about a relationship, with your children because you're responsible for them. You want them to do well. Caring about your work because you want to earn money to do whatever the things that you want to do, like travel or pay for great education for your children. Everybody has a different motivation behind their care, but that care has to be there in order for you to have passion, whatever that care is. So the care, the capacity, and the capability, they all work together. And you cannot have excellence if one of them are missing. I truly believe that. You can be the most gifted person. You can have a 1600 on your SAT or what have you, but if you don't care about college, you're not going to do well in college, So and you could do that for any of them whatsoever. You could have strong passion and want to be an excellent doctor, but if you don't have the capabilities to do the math, then you're probably not going to become the doctor. Or you could have a strong, and when I say capability, I want to be clear, the capability you can build, you can study and do that, right? Or similarly, if you may want to become a judge one day, but if you're working 80 hours per week and you don't have time to go to law school, you don't have the opportunity to go to law school because you have to, say, take care of your family, then you don't have the time, you don't have the opportunity to make that happen. So these three must exist together in order for you to see excellence. Now, the tricky part is knowing where you're going to invest your time, what opportunities are you going to look for, what capabilities are going to be most important for you, aligned with what do you care about? Because a lot of times they're not aligned. A lot of times we do what we have the capabilities to do because someone told us we were really good at it. So we pursue that. Or we do what we have the time and opportunity to do because, well, this school is here. I know so-and-so is studying that, so I'm going to study that. Or we do something because we care about it. We're passionate about it. And they say, do what your heart tells you, just follow your heart and everything else will happen. And then you find out when you followed your heart. You followed your heart to an area that is saturated, to an area where what you have to contribute is not needed, instead of paying attention to what is the opportunity. And the opportunity aligns with what does the marketplace need? What does the world need? That produces opportunity, and then that serves that first C, which is capacity. So anyways, if you've gotten anything from this video, please click the like button and share with anyone who you care about. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.